Mic check. 1, 2. I sound a little low. Just give me a quick thumbs up. As long as it's a excuse me, make sure the sound's okay. Give me a quick thumbs up. Pretty please. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. All right. I think we're good to go. What is going on, Florida State family, Seminole Nation, and the 863 tribe? It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. 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 I'm going to emphasize this part. The goddamn truth. Because I sat long and hard because I want to think about where I was gonna go with this live stream. It's been a long time since we talked. I think the last time we talked, Indiana won the Big Ten. I think that was the last live stream I did. Indiana beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. So we've had 2 rounds of playoffs since then, since we've talked. The transfer portal has opened up since then, and all these things have transpired. And I really, thanks for asking, New King. I'm not sick anymore, but I'm getting over it. I was like deathly ill right before New Year's and for pretty much all of Christmas. I don't know what I had. I had like the bird, swine, porcupine flu. I don't know. It was crazy. I almost died. I didn't almost die, but I felt like I was dying. But no, I'm not sick anymore. I am getting over it still, though. So if I sound a little weird, that might be why. But back on track. Yeah, I've been sitting thinking, like, where am I going to go with this particular video, live stream, episode, pod, whatever you want to call this? I know what y'all don't want to hear. And y'all don't need me to go through the list of people that have hit the portal. Y'all know that. If you're here tonight, if you call yourself a Florida State fan and you're here tonight, you know who's hit the portal. I don't need to go through a list of names that have hit the portal. If you want to go listen to that, I'm pretty sure there's a pod out there. There's a video for you that's going to tell you everybody that's hit the portal. I'm also not going to sit here and tell you and go through the players that FSU has acquired, because quite frankly, I don't care at this point. Whoever you think QB1 is, we could do it. There's no need. You know why? Because there's a video out there for you that somebody else has made, and they can go through that, and they can sell you the lies that Ashton Daniels is going to be the next whatever, or he fits Gus' system, so this is a good take. Blase, blah. I'm not wasting my time. I don't think that's what y'all came to hear. Maybe you did, but if you did come to hear, you can, if you want to, you can stick around. But if you came to hear me go through the list of names that's in the portal, that's hitting the transfer portal, that FSU's targeting, that FSU has signed so far, you'll get little references here and there, but that's not what this live stream is about. So again, if that's what you're here for, you can kindly see yourself out. No hard feelings. It's just not what I'm here to deliver. And I sat here again and I thought to myself, well, what am I going to talk about? Not what am I going to talk about, because I know what I want to talk about. But how am I going to deliver this message that I want to deliver? And I just got to be frank, kind of up, just flat out tell you what it is. FSU has a problem. See, the transfer portal is not the problem, and I know the transfer portal, and I'm included in this. Transfer portal has the fan base in the uproar, and for a little bit, the transfer portal was bothering me too. I'm over it now. I no longer care. I don't care who they sign. I don't care who leaves at this point. Guys that have declared to leave have came back. Like I said, we're not going to go through all the names, but the Jabril Rawls, those guys have came back. Or Little declared to the draft, only to then not declare, then hit the portal. So I don't know what's going on there. On and on and on and on. So it's not the portal because every team is in the same position with the transfer portal. Every team gets affected by it. The transfer portal has no bias. Every team gets affected by it. Every team is a victim or a beneficiary of said portal. I think we all know that. FSU has found itself at times being benefited by the transfer portal. We can name some elite names that came over in the transfer portal to help FSU. Here's the problem. And again, it's deeper than the portal because every team's being affected by it. FSU has a philosophy problem, and it has just a flat-out administrative problem. What do I mean when I say a philosophy problem? So FSU signed today a Troy offensive lineman. I think it was a freshman All-American. Normally, I'd be a fan of taking a freshman All-American caliber player, regardless of where he played at. I know he played at Troy, so maybe the caliber of competition, it's the Sun Belt Conference, whatever. But you got Braden Fisk out of Western Michigan, so we can go back and forth of getting guys from lower tier schools, whatever. But we signed that guy. I forget his name, and his name is irrelevant. Anyways, it doesn't matter, but you guys should know who I'm talking about. And I tweeted something. If you're not following me on Twitter, because I know I don't do the live streams as much as I should. But if you really want to know my thoughts on a lot of things, you might want to follow me on Twitter. I'll be going through it with everybody on Twitter. I feel like I'm becoming one of the most hated FSU fans on that website because people just love to take shots at my opinions because I have nothing positive to say, and I don't see how anybody can have anything positive to say. But only thing I tweeted, I quote tweeted, sigh, just, and it's not for the player per se. It's not the particular player that I have a problem with. It's not even the fact that he went to Troy. It's the philosophy that Florida State continues to display when it comes to acquiring players. It is one of the dumbest strategies, thought processes that is out there right now in college football. The reason FSU is having such a hard time over the last, 2 or 3 years when it comes to this portal stuff, it's not a money problem. I know people say, oh, they don't, FSU will spend the money. They've actually shown that they will spend the money. It's what they decide to spend the money on. I don't care how bad Florida State's quarterback situation is. FSU's are going to always prioritize signing some bum-ass tight end. Case in point, we signed a tight end, I think, from ECU. I'm not calling the young man a bum. Hope he comes here and balls out. But why the hell do we need one? I'm just asking a question. Because this is going to be the theme of this video. Is the way they go about building a roster is so backwards that's why Florida State can't win an ACC game or wins one ACC or 2 ACC games, whatever the number is in the last 2 years. 1-9, whatever it was at the time. Mark Norvell has, in the last 2 years, literally has the worst ACC team in the conference. That's why you've gone 2-10 and you've won 7 games in 2 years. You've had 4 losing seasons in 6 years. Because they don't know how to build a roster. That's the problem. It's not that they don't spend money. It's that they don't know where to spend money. And they spend money in the most ridiculous places. Circle back to the offensive line I was talking about. In hindsight, or most of y'all would say, well, we need to invest money on the O-line. You're right. We do need to invest money on the O-line. However, why are we taking certain players? Why are we taking centers and guards? Why can't Sandman Thomas, the freshman who showed a lot of promise, why can't you emphasize him, put him in the position to be successful? Maybe we need depth, but these transfer portal guys ain't coming for depth. They come in to play. We took a dude from Purdue who played center last year and gave up the most pressures in the Power Four at the center position. Everybody's like, well, he's going to play guard. What about Andre Otto? Does he not play guard? Do we not have any other guards on the... Yes, you need to probably invest in tackles when it comes to the offensive line. I have just this wild feeling or theory that we should be okay at the guard position. Why is Manasseh hitting the portal? Mario Nash, after a year, hitting the portal. Simmons has hit the portal, and I think he's going to Wisconsin. All these young offensive linemen, why don't we ever invest? Like, it's not that I don't want to build the trenches or build the offensive line. Why are we not emphasizing the primary positions? Why are we not emphasizing developing the young, talented men that we have on the roster? Like I said, we go to tight end. Why do we need that? Why? It's like Brian Courtney all over again. Why do you need him? You just signed 2 tight ends in this high school class. You got Lofton from last year, and you got Landon Thomas to come back. Thank God. I mean, so you at least have 4 tight ends. That should be enough because, frankly, we don't target the tight end in the offensive game. They invest money in tight ends as if FSU has 500-600-yard tight ends year in and year out. You would think the way Florida State emphasizes the tight end position that we would have one of the top tight ends in the country year in and year out. Go check the numbers, folks. We don't. Even when we've had good ones like Jaheim Bell. Last year you had Pittman, you had all these other guys. How many targets did the tight end get a game? So we emphasize just building a roster in such a backwards way that I can't. That's the problem. The transfer portal isn't the problem. The problem is the way they want to emphasize spending the resource or allocating the resources across building a roster. I don't have a problem with the running back they took because, frankly, you only have 2 running backs on the roster. I bet you only has Singleton and Chroma. Oh, and they're bringing in the freshmen, so that's 3. You probably did. You needed to take a running back, frankly. So I don't have a problem with taking a pretty decent running back out of Texas. I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with some of these other, I think the first guy we got out of the portal was a DB. Again, that is a position that you've recruited. If there's one position that you've recruited, it's DBs. Kai Bates gone. Actually, I forget. Where's Kai Bates go? He announced where he's going, but I forget off the top of my head. But Kai Bates gone. Jabril Rawls had a money play, but he's back. Earl Little, I guess it's up. We'll wait and see if he's back or not. You still got guys that we ain't ever seen play a snap in that secondary, and yet we continue. We take DBs. We continue to take DBs. Where's my defensive lineman? We don't have a defensive line right now. Now, I think the Desir twins would be back. I think, they're doing what they're playing the game, leveraging. I'm gonna get into that conversation too, because there's a problem there. Kai Bates going. So if Wisconsin's about to be the Wisconsin Seminoles. If Kai Bates is going to Wisconsin, Cam Davis is also going to Wisconsin, and now Lucas Simmons is going to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's taking all the Florida State players. That's crazy. And I'm gonna get to the comments here because I see y'all talking a lot in the chat, and y'all know me, the most interactive show for the Florida State YouTube fan. But just let me cook for a little bit. Let me get my takes off here, and I'm gonna get to the comments. And please hit my like button if you don't mind. I actually forgot where I was at. I think I was talking DBs. And defensive line is where I was at, actually. And they say, we don't have one. We don't have one right now, guys. We got Kevin Wynn for now. McCray. Okay. There's rumors that Lyons might hit the portal. He hasn't hit yet, so I'll throw in Daniel Lyons. We got a kid out of Texas A&M. We lost LaJesse Harold, which I was one of the first transfer portal guys that we lost, which I think, to me, that's a guy that you wanted to keep. Oh, Amari Williams has dipped along with the twin. Like, who's playing D-line right now? Anybody want to know who's playing D-line? Anybody? Jason Jenkins has already left. Cam Davis is going to Liberty. You're right, Antonio. I made a mistake. Cam Davis is going to Liberty. Dwayne McCoy, Boggs. I don't need to go down the list of guys that have left. But holy shit. What exactly is the we got Tylen Lee. Didn't get anything out of him last year. I'm hoping that's a building block for the future, but you're right. We got Tylen Lee. And of course the freshman that they're bringing in. Again, the issue that I really, really have, the problem that was really grinds my gears is the way they construct the roster. The way Mike Norvell has always constructed a roster does not make sense. Doesn't make sense. Zero. Let's get to the comments before we continue. I see y'all have comment sections moving, so I want to get to it. Let's see what I want to start. Let's start with we'll start here with Joe. What's up, Joe? How you doing? This used to be a place we come to rejoice and joke. Now it's not even funny anymore. There's nothing to be proud of anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't do. And the thing that's crazy about it, Joe, is don't be mad. I'm not saying you are, but don't be mad at me. The fans be mad at me on Twitter for simply saying the truth. But they ain't mad at the $10 million man that created this whole thing. They ain't mad at the AD who's fostered this whole thing. They mad at me because I don't like what I'm saying. They got a problem with me. Not Mike Norvell, not Michael Alford, but me. Tight ends, running backs, all the positions we don't need. Facts. What was the point of bringing Thomas back and then bringing in more transfer tight ends? Trenches are so behind. What's up, Vontae? Running back pissed me off the most. Interior O-line is fine. Tackles is what we need. That's why players are leaving, because Norvell is not using. And that speaks to the point, Island Boy. Like how do you people say, well, why is this guy leaving? And because they're constantly getting portaled over. Again, at what point do you go, bro, Maurice Smith played center for Florida State at 250 pounds from his freshman year to his senior year. You trying to tell me Sandman Thomas can't get the same love? And he's more developed than Maurice was at the same time in their careers. And he's had a year to redshirt and do all that stuff. You constantly portal over guys, and then we go, well, this guy don't want to be here. Well, no shit, he don't want to be here. Because he can't get on the field. Because every time these players think it's their turn to step up or get an opportunity, the opportunity is snatched away from them. What about Jonathan Daniels? Hopefully he's playing tackle or something for you this year. Jonathan Daniels should absolutely be in the mix to play on this offensive line. You let Lucas Simmons walk, which I'm not even mad about the Simmons thing. At this point, going into 4 years for Lucas Simmons, it was that point where it's like, okay, we've kept you here 3-4 years. You haven't done anything. I can understand the Lucas Simmons thing, but I don't understand how Mario Nash was just allowed to. How do you just let that freshman just leave? Manasseh, how do you just let him just up and leave? I don't know, man. There you go, Antoine. Per War Chant, Biles canceled his visit. Now, is that the linebacker that everybody? Is that the linebacker from Pitt? He should cancel his visit. Yeah, Cryer hit the portal. Mm-hmm. Says, while I like the Twins, one is clearly better than the other. Yeah. And what are their ceilings? Well, I talked about that a long time ago with the Twins. I said, I don't know what their ceilings are. I don't know if they have like elite athletic upside. But they have high motors. They have both of them have a high motor. And yes, one is definitely better than the other, but they also can feed off of each other. Obviously they are probably a package deal. Do I think they are like first round talents? I don't. Do I think they're NFL players? I do. I think that motor can get them far, even if their athleticism eventually caps. But it remains to be seen. You can't lose them. Regardless of what you think the Twins are, right? Do you want to lose a freshman All-American who had what? I think he led the team in sacks. Someone can, you don't want to lose that. Don't get me started on a rump roast. Joe says, I ain't mad at you. Is this administration? I've never seen so much money spent in competent staff members in my life. You think when you suck at your job, you get fired. Not only no replacement for Daryl, right? You're asking a lot out of Kevin Wynn, who really didn't play last year because of an injury, so they had to redshirt him. The plan was for him to play, but he started off the season injured. But then, so now you're hoping that he is whatever he's supposed to be or whatever. But who's this? Kevin Wynn is playing at 340 pounds. He's gonna need a break. Who the hell is there to give him who on the roster can give Kevin Wynn a break? We've got another running back on campus. Again, I know y'all are tired of the running back thing, but to be fair, the running back room is thin, y'all. Yeah, especially when you let Sawchuk. I thought they should have kept Sawchuk, regardless of what you thought of him. It was a quality rotation back. Thought you should have kept Sawchuk. Now, you could have let Cam walk. I mean, Cam's going to Liberty, so that tells you that some people like myself who looked at Cam and like, no, he's not an FSU talent. I mean, if he was, he wouldn't be going to Liberty right now. But you need a backfield, and right now they don't have a backfield. So I don't have a problem with getting running backs. I just have a problem with, I don't know what you paid to get the tight end out of ECU, but why'd you pay him? That money could have went somewhere else. I don't know what you paid Ashton Daniels, but like that couldn't have been the best option. We know it wasn't the best option. They have grossly neglected that quarterback position since I've been saying it for years now. The biggest criticism, black eye, no pun intended, on Mike Norvell is his just misevaluation of that position. Mike Norvell can't evaluate that position to save his life, folks. And he got lucky that Jordan Travis stayed in the system long enough to have 2 good years. Because we all remember that he didn't want Jordan Travis at first. Like, and since Jordan Travis, he's misevaluated that position. And I don't know what y'all think of this Daniels kid, but good grief. Good luck with that. But I'm gonna go to my next point. And one of my next point that I kind of want to hit on. Why? Because I'm looking around, and again, the transfer portal happens to every school. Every school is getting hit with the transfer portal. Don't get it twisted. And not everybody's losing players that they want to lose, because some kids know that they can go out there and if they play a premium position or whatever the case may be, they can go out there and they can get a bag or whatever they want to do. Why is it to me, FSU is the only, and this is a big picture point that I'm about to make. This shows you how I just talked about Mike Norvell building, like I just went on about Mike Norvell building an actual roster and how he sucks at it and can't do it because he's never had to. At Memphis, that he had an already built program. He never had to build anything. He just took what Memphis was and kept it rocking. So Mike Norvell don't know how to build anything. So I just eviscerated Mike, and I've been eviscerating Mike for a while now, and I'll continue to do it until he's gone. But now I'm really finna go on this administration. I'm really about to hit on the administration because after 2-10, how did you not come into this year with a plan? How did you not come into this year with a plan in case this thing went south again, which it did? How, after the Stanford game, do you announce that it'll be a comprehensive look at the program and you don't hire a GM until a week before the portal hit? Am I right on that assessment? They didn't hire a GM until about a week or a few days before the transfer portal even started. And you wonder why the Desir twins hit the portal. The Desir twins may very well get a deal done and come back. That's awesome. But if you had stuff in place beforehand, they never even hit the portal. That don't mean that they're not working behind the scenes to get a deal done. But you notice that these other programs, instead of guys hitting the portal and then announcing they come back, you know what they do? They announce, this player has re-signed. And everybody's laughing. Oh, I hate the re-sign tweets. Well, I'd rather get those. I'd rather get Jabril Rawls saying he struck a new deal instead of Jabril Rawls hitting the portal and then 2 weeks later coming back. Good, love to have him back. But you understand the way the optics look? Do you understand how this looks as a program when your best players, it doesn't matter if they come back, because when they come back, everybody knows why they came back. The optics matter, especially for a dud head coach like Mike Norvell. The optics matter. Whether they've hit the portal or not, Champs 99, they've announced their intentions to hit the portal. You're missing, like, you're trying to get into specifics, and you're flat out missing the point that I'm making. Because for whatever reason, again, we try to defend everything that happens here, regardless of if they've actually put their name in the transfer portal, because Daryl Jackson never put his name in the transfer portal, or Joshua Farmer didn't officially ever enter the transfer portal. But what did they do? They announced their intentions to hit the portal, to begin the process and start making these plays. But it makes the program that you're announcing that on, it makes them look inept. It makes them look incompetent. Florida's running back, Ball, it was rumored for a while that he may or may not hit the portal. It never was once announced that kid was hitting the portal. You know what was announced about, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that he had re-signed with Florida and was coming back to the Gators. That's what matters. Yeah, facts do matter, and nuance matters. All that matters. Context to facts matter. This whole playing the game of I'm hitting the portal and officially announcing it, regardless of if you ever hit it, isn't what we're talking about. It's how you make an institution look when your best players are deciding to hit the portal. Even if you're working a deal, a competent organization, you never let those announcements happen. You stop those announcements before they happen. You work those deals before you ever get to the point where your best players have to come out and announce that they're hitting the transfer portal. But FSU has set a precedent a long time ago with this. FSU set a precedent with guys like Marcus and Douglas, DJ Lundy. They've allowed players to hit the portal, actually go to other teams, and come back. Because this administration is a bunch of cucks. That's what they are. They allow these players know that this administration is a joke. These players know that this coaching staff is a joke. And these players know that they can strong arm because these boys have been strong armed for the last 3 to 4 years. What did Patrick Payton and Joshua Farmer do? Strong arm them. Again, they never hit the portal. They just announced their intentions to hit the portal. They've been doing this for years now. Again, it's not a transfer portal problem. I'm not saying the transfer portal isn't a problem because the structure of the transfer portal does need to change. There are things about the portal that needs to be fixed. Don't get me wrong. But everybody's playing under the same umbrella right now as far as the transfer portal goes. So the portal isn't the issue. It's the way FSU has gone about the portal. It's a way FSU has, it's the way the administration, FSU, did not have a plan in place from the jump. I don't know how you don't get in front of I don't know how at the moment you lost to Florida, which was the last game of the season, I don't know how everybody didn't sit down and say, these are the 10 players. I don't know. These are the 10, 8, 9, however many. These are the players that we are emphasizing. Meaning if their names cannot hit the portal, whether it's actually hitting the portal or them just announcing it, those names cannot hit because that makes us look bad. And if you don't think making us look bad matters, look at what's happening to this program every day. These names, whatever those names were, there's no way that Jabril Rawls or whoever the names were, there should have been on a damn spreadsheet, some kind of chart, some big whiteboard in an office and said, these are the guys that we're emphasizing. Again, I ain't here to tickle the Gators ball sacks by any means, but they don't have the problem FSU's having, granted, because they decided to fire their lame duck coach and they have a breath of fresh air, but you don't see a bunch of the Florida players that are re-signing. They didn't hit the transfer portal. I'm not saying that they haven't had players that hit the portal, but the guys that they're announcing that they're keeping never hit the portal is my point. FSU don't have that. We got to announce that Jabril Rawls was coming back, but for 2 weeks he was in the portal, or it was announced he was in the portal, or however long it was. So I hope we get LaWayne McCoy back. Actually, I don't. And that's not a knock on Weezy. I want Weezy to go do great things. I don't want Weezy to have that dude throwing him the football. But I hope the Twins come back. I hope whoever wants to come back comes back, whatever at this point. But the fact that they have to hit the portal first to strong arm these people just to get a deal done, that shows the ineptitude of this entire program from top to bottom. Everyone has to go. And until that happens, this is what you're going to get. I don't know. I'm going to get to the comments here in a second. I don't know what y'all think the record's going to be next year. I guess we'll wait and see what the roster ultimately looks like. But holy shit. Anybody see anybody see more than 6 wins? Because as of right now, I'm not sure I do. Let me go back up, and we'll get back on these comments. Speaking of this running back that they got on campus, does anybody know who it is or where he's from? Because I'm not even paying attention. Again, there's a lot of this stuff that I'm not paying attention to when it comes to this the transfer portal. At this point, I don't. Trayon Webb. Okay, I just saw it. I just looked. Is from Florida. Is visiting. Okay, well, good for him. And again, I do think FSU needs a running back or two, but yeah. They'll portal in another wide receiver too. Book it instead of locking up McCoy and giving the younger guys coming. And that's another thing, Antoine. Not only that, like why not? Why would you portal a wide receiver instead of emphasizing LaWayne McCoy? Regardless of what you think of LaWayne McCoy, maybe you don't think whatever. He's a player who's been in the system, knows what he's doing, knows the playbook, right? Instead of emphasizing that. And also, didn't FSU sign about 6 wide receivers this freshman class? And they got a couple, like, instead of emphasizing guys like that, like you said, they'll probably portal in a guy, which wide receiver shouldn't be a position they are spending any money on, frankly. It just shouldn't be. There are so many dual threat QBs out there right now, and they chose Daniels. It's crazy. The Louisiana tackle who visited FSU first. Mike told him to take more visits. South Carolina is now favored to land him. I don't understand the approach. I don't understand the approach either. Yes, and it was reported that Mike Norvell has told a lot of guys, don't commit. I don't know where Mike Norvell thinks he is at. This is cutthroat football in the South. He's not at Memphis, bro. He's not at a G5 program. Oh, go take more visits. Only want you. No. When you get guys that you want on campus, you don't let them leave. He's not built for a job like Florida State. And instead of like 3 years ago, it was, oh, Mike was young. And he was young 3, 4, 5 years ago. He's a young head coach. This is a big job. He can learn. The problem is, man, Mike ain't learning. Yes, I heard this report that he's been telling not only this player, that he's telling other players, take more visits. And we want, basically, we only want you here if you want to be here. We want you to take more visits. To know that this is where you really want to be. That's the dumbest approach in the history of mankind. This is college football. Cutthroat recruiting is what you think Nick Saban was letting guys leave. Do you not know how it was reported? And again, I understand this was a different era, how Bobby Bowden would go to someone's house and refuse to leave until like he got the commitment. And you're just telling kids, yeah, go ahead. Go take more visits. I'll be here when you get back. You idiot. This is y'all's head coach, though. This is y'all's head coach. They only did right by Deuce. I don't understand. I don't understand why Deuce came back. Not to get passes thrown to him by. It don't matter. FSU is the only school staying in budget. They're the only school that ain't tampering with other players. I didn't watch it, so I don't know. And I don't care about Mike's attitude. I think I found it out. FSU operates as a private equity firm. The only purpose is to spend as little money as possible in an inevitability tanking business. Alfred is a conservative AD. His thoughts on Congress was going to say he thought Congress was going to save him. Not only is the football program in shambles, the other sports programs are begging for support. Fire Mike Alfred. Happy New Year to you. All I know is that I'm a huge Ole Miss Rebels fan this weekend. I have Miami fans experiencing a chance at another. Hey, look, let's. I ain't gonna spend in much time on this. I actually went to the Miami Ohio State game. Found a couple cool Ohio State fans in Jerry's world rooting against Miami, and they disappointed me heavily. Here's the truth, and I'm not telling you not to root for Ole Miss. Here's the truth: Miami's front seven, specifically that D line and that offensive line, those two units for Miami give them a chance to win every football game for the rest of the year. That's just the facts. Ohio State couldn't block them, and Miami had their way on offensively on the offensive line. Uh, that's just the facts. Go figure. Yeah, we talk shit about Mario Cristobal, but he built the team the right way. While my coach is trying to build a team with tight ends and DBs. Go figure. And quarterback continue to take QB rejects, whether it's DJ Uyunglele, Mackenzie Milton, Thomas Castellanos, continues to take quarterbacks that have failed everywhere they've been. Granted, Milton didn't fail. He just had a horrific injury. So Milton doesn't quite fit that. But the other guys, and now this guy fits that same mold. Mike Norvell is an A1 roster builder because we build rosters with backup quarterbacks and tight ends. Miami has a chance. I'm just going to keep it a bean with you. Miami, because of those two units, has a chance to beat anybody they play. Me personally, I'm rooting for Indiana to win this whole thing. And I will say this. If Oregon was ever going to finally win their first ring, if this isn't the year, I don't know if Oregon ever wins it. FSU doesn't have problems. Miami is on the schedule. That's the only thing setting FSU back. How is it possible that your women's basketball team only has 10 scholarship players on the coaches begging for support? The issues are above the football program. Why do you guys, Miami players, do this stuff? Like, people that I've never seen before. Again, do me a favor. First and foremost, say hello. Introduce yourself. Black Raider Steel. Yeah, come over here and you start talking trash. Like, I don't have time for you, Miami fans. You're just gonna go to timeout. If you continue doing this shit, I'm blocking you. What is going on? Champ, you know what, Champ? I love you. You've been around here a long time. You say some ridiculous things. Sperry and Daniels will be a QB battle. You think Daniels in his last year, okay, I'll take that. Sperry and Daniels will be a QB battle. Fair, fine. And both are no worse than TC. If Sperry's no worse than TC, why did FSU stick with TC throughout the entire year when it was reported that TC was bothered by injuries? We saw that he lost explosiveness in the run game. Why didn't you play the guy who was no worse? This is what I'm talking about. I love Florida State fans, man. I really do. I think FSU has the most passionate fan base in all of college football. And I know they're the most emotional. Just go check social media. But I'm going to say this, and I mean this, with all due respect, I think FSU has the dumbest fan base in the sport. We're either dumb or we let our emotions ride over our actual football knowledge and acumen. Because we say idiotic stuff. You know how some fan bases pride themselves on being smart fans? Like smart football fans. FSU fans are not smart football fans. Y'all just aren't. Y'all just are not. Y'all say ridiculous things. Ridiculous things, man. Y'all say the craziest stuff. This whole Sperry narrative that everybody's riding with, whoo. Where do y'all see? First of all, no one's watched enough of Sperry to believe that he's anything more than the 3-star player out of high school. Because damn it, if you watch the games he did play in, I don't know how y'all don't look at that Hail Mary pass that he threw. Florida State fans, y'all really give me a headache, man. I want some of y'all to put the garnet and gold glasses down and just talk ball for a second. We can talk ball. We can just talk ball. No, they think Daniels is a version of Cam Newton. I have to admit, he does have size, but that's all I see right now. Ashton Daniels is definitely worse than TC. Fans are delusional if they think Daniels is going to do something. I don't know if Daniels is going to do anything. I think they're even more delusional if they think Sperry's the answer. I think that's the delusion. FSU's quarterback situation is in shambles, but it's been in shambles every year, with the exception of 2. So this is just par for the course as far as I'm concerned. If Sperry isn't better than TC, then Norvell is a worse QB recruiter than I believe. Well, the proof's in the pudding. Omega, AJ Duffy, Tate Rodemaker, Chubba Purdy, Brock Glenn, Luke Cromenhoke. Speaking of Luke Cromenhoke, that guy has some terrible luck. Speaking of Luke, I just named you 5 quarterback high school recruits. Dust in the wind. I don't know what else to if that ain't proof. What? Sperry might hit and be the lone, like, what are we talking about? Every fan thinks there's an underdog story to be had every season. A lot of fans believe in Sperry. I think what it is people just want. Again, this is where the FSU fan can't separate like their fandom and then they're like, okay, I love Florida State and I want Florida State players to do well. And then, okay, let's separate that and now let's talk about football. And that's where they can't separate the two. So they want to believe in Sperry because Sperry was recruited here. Y'all know me. I'm in the proofs in the pudding boat, meaning your results are what I believe. Okay, I don't form a narrative. I don't wish the worst. I definitely wish the best, but I don't wish you to fail. I simply judge you based off what you do. Mike Norvell may be the worst quarterback evaluator of all time. Of all time. That's not hyperbole, folks. The proof's in the pudding. Look at the results. Look at the result. And not only is Mike Norvell might be the worst quarterback evaluator over time, look at the results since he's been here of FSU's roster. He might be the worst evaluator of talent we've ever seen. How many of his players that he's recruited, and I'm strictly talking about his high school guys, have left this program, have amounted to anything? He's gotten 2 guys drafted out of high school and that's Joshua Farmer and AZ. Every other player drafted was a transfer portal take, which means someone else evaluated them out of high school and got them on a college campus. I understand wanting to like Sperry. I get that. I understand saying, man, maybe we could just ride with Sperry. I get that. You know what you do? You ride with Sperry. Sperry, unfortunately for him, he just came along at the wrong time. In year 7. Mike Norvell should have rode with Chubba Purdy in year 2. Like, that's the moves you make. Sperry is the move you make at it when a coach is in his second year at a program and he's just trying to implement his guys and build for the future. That's when you implement your high school quarterback. He tried that in year one with Tate Rodemaker, and that was a disaster. Jordan Travis had to come in and save him. Unfortunately, we're going on year 7. Sperry's just playing Sperry in year 7. Whew. Imagine that. To be honest, I actually agree. I don't think there was a I won't say there was a we can define surefire. I don't think this was the strongest QB portal. I would agree with that. But I believe there were better options than what we got. And I think you would have to agree with that. Is that fair? There were better options out there. But I agree with you. I don't think it was necessarily a big year for quarterbacks in the portal. What up, Pope? It seems like we will never be the type of team that we was back in the day. Not as long as Mike Norvell and Mike Alford are here. No, absolutely not. What you're witnessing now is the fall of Rome. You're witnessing the fall of Babylon, the fall of Rome. Everything needs to be burnt to the ground. And until it's burnt to the ground, we can't rebuild it. That's the facts. The stench, the infestation of Mike Norvell and what he's imprinted on this organization needs to be cleansed. And until that happens, you are what your record says you are. Yeah, and that's another guy. Why didn't we target Van Buren? That's what I'm saying. Like, there were other quarterbacks out there. Again, I don't think it was the greatest offseason, but there were other guys. Sperry will beat out Daniels. Okay. 4 games next year. I mean, either way, I guess it doesn't matter. His roster construction is god awful. What's up? What's up, Kenny? It seems. Oh, did you comment that twice? Maybe you didn't try to, but yeah. Cam Davis to Liberty is a head scratcher. I was thinking he would be dominant running. Well, again, when I said Cam didn't have it, everybody didn't like that take. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, he transferred to Liberty for a reason. I think O'Neal's better than Sperry. I actually think O'Neal's better than Sperry too. You know, the problem is I don't think O'Neal fits the system. I don't know if we'll ever see O'Neal, at least as long as Gus is here, because we know, I mean, look at what they just took in Daniels. O'Neal's not that. O'Neal's not that type of a runner. And again, that's another quarterback in O'Neal. And I'll say this about Sperry. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think Sperry is trash, but he needs couple years of development. Same thing with Luke Cromaholt. These quarterbacks, every quarterback can't come in and play right away. Some of these guys got to sit a couple years, and that's okay. That's how it used to be. It used to be you didn't get a quarterback on the field to his redshirt junior year. Now we want to thrust guys out there as freshmen and true freshmen and wonder why they suck. We don't give these kids time to develop, to do any of that. I think O'Neal has a higher ceiling than Sperry. Don't know if we'll ever see it. Not at Florida State. Levitt wasn't coming. Levitt's not leaving Arizona State to come to Florida State, bro. I love the Noles, but the truth is the truth. The standards are so low at this point. People are willing to celebrate bowl. Bro, the standards are so low. He's a good guy. Mike Norvell's a good guy. Oh, they play hard. That's the FSU fan in 2025, 2026. We can't just call it how we see it. It's, oh, Mike Norvell's a good guy. No shit, he's a good guy. Who cares? No one said the man was a mass murderer. Okay, he's a good man. Cool. His job is to coach football and win football games, and he don't do that. Oh, the kids are actually playing hard. I thought that was the bare minimum. I thought when you played sports, the bare minimum was to try hard. How about actually be good? I would have rather taken Western Carolina QB that threw. I would have rather taken the JMU quarterback, but whatever. It is what it is. Norvell has officially taken any hope that I've always had as a 30-year FSU Dire fan. Can't wait till him and the AD are gone. Gus's offense is a QB running system. They rather have one read, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. But now let's build a roster around that. I don't need a guy, and I agree. Gus isn't going to get a guy to drop back, scan the field, go through his progressions, and that's not what it is. But at the same time, does your roster reflect what you're trying to accomplish? Because again, I don't know why you need 6 tight ends on a roster that don't emphasize the tight end position at all. Why do you need 6 of them? Thank you for the $4, William. My dog says Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's and go Noles. Happy New Year's, go Noles, my man. Appreciate it.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
Excuse me. Just think about this. There were actually FSU fans elated at the thought of landing Gator's throwaway trash Lagway. Let that sink in. Shows the state of the program. I haven't even hit on DJ Lagway. I haven't even hit on it. I would have took him over what we ended up with. I'm going to be honest with you on that. I would have taken DJ. Again, though, here's the problem, and the problem becomes fit. Lagway has, what is he, 6'3"? They listed him as 240. Could you have got this man to lose 10, 15 pounds to make him a little more mobile? Maybe, but here's a problem with Lagway. Stayed hurt in a running system. Do you really want him running at much if he stays injured? That was his issue last year. He got no preseason reps, and Billy threw him out there and wondered why he sucked. I don't know if I would have taken Lagway over what we got, though. I think Lagway does have elite arm talent or big-time arm talent. However, would that have translated in the Gus system? I don't know. I believe Gus's sales pitch to Lagway was Cam Newton. Don't know what Gus is talking about there, but okay. Lagway can't stay healthy enough for me to have taken that super serious. That's my major issue with Lagway. I will say this. I think get out of your head this whole Florida transfer, a Miami, that stuff doesn't matter anymore. These kids really never commit, very rarely. But for the most part, kids don't commit to programs, even back in the day. Your Derwin James, who had it all tatted on him and in high school, they're rare. Kids never really have committed to programs. They commit to coaches. They still commit to coaches, but they also are now going to take, the opportunities as they come in terms of this NIL stuff. Tribal War says, come on, Paul, you can't have a gimmick offense like this and attract serious. Now, I agree with you. FSU's never going to – this was one of the things I said when we hired Gus. I said I'm on board with the Gus hire given given how Mike Norvell has emphasized, I mean, up until, and he's actually still doing it. There's one thing Mike Norvell has, I've talked about his evaluations. There's one thing I believe Mike Norvell does have an eye for. I believe it's the running back position, whether that's obviously Trey Benson. I know he didn't bring in Trayshawn Ward, but he did bring in damn, I'm forgetting his name. He came from Texas A&M. He transferred here before Trey Benson. Damn, Jashaun Corbin. And he was pretty good for you. Corbin was pretty good for you. Trey Benson was good for you. I thought Salchuk was solid for you. He was pretty bad. Roy Dell wasn't a good evaluation. But Sam Singleton was good for you. If there's one position that I think he has somewhat of an eye for, is running back position. So given that, I was thinking, okay, Gus fits that. We can have a dominant running game. But I agree with you, and I said as much as when we got him. I said Gus hasn't had a good QB evaluation in over a decade. So I don't get the mindset of the Florida State fans who say I trust Gus Malzahn when it comes to quarterbacks. Check his track record over the last 10 years on quarterbacks. And I don't know why you would trust that. So I agree. I agree with you. Said as much when we hired him. I just thought they would take other parts of the roster more serious. If you're going to go half-ass on Ashton Daniels, again, don't spend money on a tight end. Get me big-time beef up front, pause, and I'm okay with getting more running backs. You just need one big receiver. You got that in Deuce. I guess I just struggle with how they build a roster. I don't see the vision personally. It's just me though. What's up, Priscilla? How you been doing? No lag way, thank God. You have a stacked classes to the best of your ability. You absolutely do. I wouldn't be surprised if Weezy goes to Miami. Is Jerry Jones Mike Norvell's best product that turned out to be something? Jerry Jones was a transfer. As far as NFL, he was a transfer. So I would say as far as NFL, I think it would be Verse, right? But Jarian's been good in the NFL. Shout out to Jarian. I would have also had taken DJ Lagway over Daniels, but that's my point. We're so desperate for a QB that the fans would be elated to bring in a corpse with the helmet at the You're right. He put in 3 running backs in the league. Yeah, say Tony Pollard. Again, he has an eye for a running back, right? There's one position I can give him credit for, his running back position. He does have an eye for running backs. So I thought that was a good mix-up with Gus. But your quarterback position will struggle. I'm tired of the portal BS and NIL. It's getting to the point now. Players are saying they're intending to enter the transfer portal for leverage. And we're just a coach away. Mike Norvell will be gone after 2026. You think so? Because we have a bad front seven and a weak O-line in combination with a limited quarterback play and a hard schedule. We just need to retake the ACC. I agree. It should start with the ACC. It should start with the ACC. The goal should be to start with the ACC. The problem is when I hear FSU fans say, "Oh, we're going to be okay. We're in the ACC. The ACC's trash." How many games has Mike Norvell won in the ACC in the last 2 years again? How many? Anybody have the answer? Yeah. You can't use the ACC as the crutch anymore. I agree with you, though. We need to take back the ACC. That would be the first step, right? That'd be the first step. But yeah, the man can't win an ACC game. That's the problem. Polk, are you praying for Jimbo in 27? I find it interesting that Jimbo didn't find a job this offseason. All the talk about Jimbo, and he was focused back getting into coaching, and it was even some rumors that he was putting together a staff. Like Jimbo was supposed to be like in the mix. Don't know to what school, but like that was the stuff coming out. I'm surprised he didn't find a job in this offseason. This offseason was crazy in terms of jobs, like big times job. Michigan opened up. I know we haven't talked about that. I don't even plan on talking about that because that whole situation was wild. Michigan, in 1 year, Michigan, LSU, Florida. Who am I missing? I guess Ole Miss technically did open up. Virginia Tech, Penn State, like all of these school, like big time programs opened up. Miami's is about to save the ACC with the national championship. We're rooting for the Hoosiers over 863 Hoosier TV. That's what we're rooting for over here. But like I said, Miami's got a chance. They got a chance. And to think, could have had exact. To think there were FSU fans that said no to James Franklin. I don't want James Franklin. He can't beat Michigan or Ohio State. Mike Norvell can't beat Duke. Mike Norvell can't beat Stanford. And you talking about you don't want James Franklin because he can't beat Michigan or Ohio State? That's what so when I say FSU fans are the dumbest fans in college football, the proof's in the pudding. I'm a proof in the pudding guy. These are the conversations that I have on Twitter. No, I don't want James Franklin. He can't win the big game. But will, in the same breath, make excuses for Mike Norvell. There's people that still bring up COVID for Mike Norvell. What? That's beside the point. That's beside the point. What scares, UCLA came available. What scares me is that most of the FSU fans is that there seems to be no place. There's no plan in place for the future. At least not that we can see. Speaking of Indiana, they reload this portal cycle. Yes. You know why? Because they have something to sell. And I don't care what you say. I love that damn Sig, man. Signetti, I love his demeanor. I love the way he carries himself. He don't give a damn. He's not here to placate to all of you people in the media. I don't know. He just has an attitude that I wish my head coach had. I'm just saying. That man said, I win. Google me. And left it at that. And my coach is sitting at the podium with a black eye talking about responding week in and week out. I don't know, man. I don't know. But to close it up, because we're coming on an hour and 30 minutes, so I'm gonna close it up here shortly. I appreciate a minute. My camera just does that sometimes where it just flickers. And I gotta reset it. There we go. To end on a note, guys, I don't really care what they do in the portal at this point because I don't believe FSU can see. FSU's not in a position to get big time talent out of the portal. They're not in a position to keep their own talent. And the talent that they do want to acquire that could make a difference, unlike Indiana, unlike a team that's showing promise, nobody wants to come play for this dud. So they have to overspend for any chance to either keep or get a decent player. So the portal is what the portal is. And nothing shocks me anymore. We're going to cover the team. I'm going to continue to cover the team. I'm going to continue to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to continue to have the opinions that I want to have. And it's not going to change. My opinions won't change unless the results change. That's when my opinions change. When you give me something, my opinions will change. As it stands right now, I don't know what this team. Somebody said it, and they said it was going to cost. It costs more to keep a lame coach than it does to fire him, regardless of the buyout. And I think you're seeing that in real time right now. It costs more to keep Mike Norvell right now than it would if we had fired him. Because if we had fired him, there would have been a buzz around the program to attract new talent. There's no buzz around Florida State. The only buzz around Florida State is negative because every good player on your roster is hitting the portal. That's the only buzz around Florida State. There's no positive talk around this program. This program's almost said it. And I don't want to believe it, but it's hard for me. It's hard for me to not say what I was about to say. But I'm not going to say what I was about to say. You guys might have saw what I was about to say. You might feel the same way I feel. I don't believe it's there yet. I don't believe it's a corpse just yet. But it's close. It's in hospice right now. Newsflash, Florida State fans. You're on the verge. You're on the verge. We made fun of Miami fans for 20 years. Made fun of Georgia because they hadn't done anything since the 80s. To 1980, I think was Georgia, 80-something, whatever. You're on the verge, FSU fans. I'm telling you right now. You're on the verge of being the butt of everyone's jokes. You're on the verge of being Nebraska. You're on the verge of being what Miami has been up until this year. Shout out to Miami. They're actually back. You're on the verge of it. And if you don't think so, if you think this is a blip in the radar, you're watching people do almost irreversible damage. And the reason I say almost is because you are in the state of Florida. You are in a recruiting hotbed. We all know you get the right guy in there, you can turn this thing around. But it's got to be the right guy. Not these wide-eyed, dumbfounded coaches who have no idea what it is to even be at a big-time program. Mike Norvell never qualified for this job, point blank, period, because he never coached at a big-time program. He had no idea what it was to coach in the Southeast, to recruit in the Southeast. He had no idea. And he had no idea how to build a program at a place like this. Had no idea. And you're seeing the fruits of all that labor. I'm sorry. And the fruit is spoiled. Remember spoiled rat meat? Yeah, I might bring that phrase back. But FSU's beyond that. It's beyond that. And again, this live stream wasn't to talk about all the portal targets and who's coming and going. Y'all already know all those people. I don't have to tell y'all that. The other people on YouTube doing videos on that stuff. Y'all know who's coming and going. Y'all know who the targets are. I came to tell you what's wrong with this program. And that is rotting from the head down. It's rotten. It's rotten. Incredible detailing with the $9.99. What's up, my brother? What up, Pope? It's Chris Orlando on the check-in, my guy. Appreciate you.
50. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
There's a healing that can take place, but you got to cut the cancer out. And until that is, it is what it is. I don't know what the loyalty is. And I'm going to end on this, guys, and you guys have a good rest of your evening. I don't know why this fan base is so loyal to this guy. This coach, I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I continue to question this fan base over and over because when I started this channel, I started this channel at the tail end of Willie Taggart's tenure. And everybody at that point had turned on Willie. Everybody wanted him out. And they did it. I wanted him out. And I can admit that it was premature. But I thought when you fire a guy a year and a half into his tenure, the next guy was going to be you were going big fish. You were big game fishing. You were looking for, you were big game hunting. You were looking for that bull elephant or something. You were looking for deep sea sail fishing. Something like you were looking for the big guns. And instead, you hired a good man to tank your program. A man who had no qualifications, had never coached at a program like this before, had never been under a coach at a program like this before. However, in 7 years, the loyalty, Willie Taggart had loyalty for all but a year. Hell, I would argue Willie Taggart had loyalty for a game. That Virginia Tech game happened, and people were done with Willie from Jump Street. And y'all know I'm not lying about this. And I'm not making this a Willie Taggart black-white thing. I am making a point. And this is I've never seen a coach like Mike Norvell get the type of loyalty from a fan base that they have given this man. And he's tanked your program. In your face. He's made you eat shit and you like it. There's still fans out here who like this. There's still fans out here who hashtag Mike got us. What the hell are we talking about? I love Norvell Central. I don't know why his name is still Norvell Central. And I don't mean that as a disrespect because I love the guy. I have no problem with Norvell Central. No. But how is your name still Norvell Central at this point? I would have changed my name a long time ago. Imagine if this channel was called 863 Norvell TV. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about, bro. And I don't understand it. But I'm here. And I'll be the villain that y'all don't want, but that y'all deserve. I'll be the guy that y'all say, all he do is gripe. All he do is cry and complain. All he do is be negative. I'm going to be the guy. And when we're looking back on it, you'll be like, damn, bro was on to something. And with all that said, man, I appreciate everybody who came in here tonight. Hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. As always, it's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Y'all stay classy, Seminoles, and we are out here. I'm actually going to try to go live again this weekend, so y'all stay tuned for that. And, have a good rest of y'all night. Go Noles.